And the reason why I decided to give you guys this lecture on the Moche is because as I was looking at the reading and video we did yesterday, I realized we didn't have enough evidence on falls of society, so I did some research, and I'm going to give you a lecture. I'll do my best impression of a college professor. Again, have that piece of paper in front of you, write +1, and you may write fall of the Moche. So let's begin. We're going to start in the year 560, which was towards the end of the Moche people. So we're going to start in the year 560 CE, AD. These mean the same thing. This is after the year 0. That means after Jesus died. So, climate plays a huge role in why the Moche fall. Now, in the reading in the video, you learned that the Moche built huge pyramids. You also learned that the Moche had magnificent art that they used, mass, they had gold. But the Moche fall. One of the big reasons why they fall is because of something called El Nino. Something called El Nino. El Nino is a weather effect that takes place in South America. Basically, it has to do with wind currents and weather. And what happens is, for the most part, the west coast of South America, where Peru is, where the Moche lived, is a desert region. They do not get much rain. So on this part of the coast, they don't get much rain. However, they do get snow up in the mountains. And these mountains, the Andes, are very high. They're over 20,000 feet. So you have snow-capped mountains and glaciers that melt. Where does all that melting water go? Towards them in the form of rivers and underwater springs. So it's kind of a nice place to live. You get about 75, 80 degree temperatures and almost no rain ever. And water comes to you. Sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? All right, that is how the weather normally is. What happened is around the year 560, there was a drought, especially in the mountain area, which meant there was less snow, which led to less water. That led to a first environmental consequence, which was the Moche people did not have much water. So there was a 30-year drought in the mountains, which led to less water for the Moche people. When we're thinking about fall of civilizations, the environment can play a very big role. Okay? Then we had the El Nino effect came in. The El Nino effect didn't just bring rain, but it brought torrential, hard rain in. And it came in, the rain came in for 30 years. There were these range, torrential downpours that kept coming. And this does happen every once in a while where these weather patterns change.
What are we writing right now?
This is our lecture. This is our lecture. We're writing down the +1 sheet. We're going to put this into our packet and turn it in.
So you write what you say?
Yep. So I'm giving you a lecture, which many professors do in college as well. And you usually do a lecture after you do the reading. And I wanted to start right away because we're a little behind.
Wait, I thought...
So let's keep going. Rains came in, and that destroyed a lot of the society, a lot of the buildings, especially these rains that were like floods. And then after the rain came, it was again followed by drought. So you have these huge extremes in the weather that take place over 90 years. The historians have been able to find this by studying the pyramids that actually exist in Peru to this day. Studying the sand dunes, they've been able to find that there were these extreme weather patterns. And they can still happen today. El Nino can still happen in South America to this day. Today we're much more better at adapting our modern civilizations to this weather than back in the classical era. All right, so after that, there's evidence that the Moche stopped building their pyramids. And they started building fortresses. were walls for protection. They started building fortresses, walls for protection. What is a fortress, wall of protection? You're building that, you're probably, conflict is going on. There's probably some kind of fighting. What the archaeologists believe has happened from their study is that there was a civil war. They believe that there was a civil war. So this civil war, how did it start? Some believe that the leaders were like gods for the Moche. And it was believed that they could actually influence what kind of weather they would get. And that they had direct contact with other gods and could influence if there was rain, if there was good weather, if the water would keep coming for irrigation for the crops. Yes?
Have they ever been wrong?
Well, they were this time. So what did the people do? Perfect question, perfect timing. It's believed the people rebelled against their leaders, or that another leader emerged and there was a civil war.
You said people rebelled against other leaders.
They rebelled against their leaders, or it's another possibility that another leader emerged and there was a rivalry over who should be in charge. And that led to civil war and fighting. Also, many times people will get along when they have enough resources and have enough to eat. But what happens when there's not enough to eat? You will fight for the resources that are left. Yes, go for it. Unnamed student, since we're recording. Go for it.
Okay, but don't you think it was a civil war? Like we would found like bodies, like bones and stuff.
Is there evidence of violence? Is there evidence of fighting? That's a very good question. Yes, there is. Archaeologists have found evidence of this. It is why they think it happened. Excellent question. All right, so that is the fall of the Moche.